Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stream. I bring you the one and only Cruncher from Team Complexity. He is in the orange trunks and he is playing Protoss to the southwest of the Shakuras Plateau versus his opponent, the one and only Arg. Yes, Arg. He is in the red trunks. He is from Team Lazarus Gaming, if I remember correctly. Yes, and he is also playing Protoss. Arg is the only pirate Protoss that I'm aware of, by the way. So there you go. This is the Thermaltake eSports Challenge for $3,000, and this is the second set of the winner bracket semi-finals. One of these guys is going down to the losers bracket to face off against either Steak. I would like to face off against Steak. That would be delicious. Or, in fact, Select from Team Dignitas. So we'll find out who that is. Spanish, you are already down to the losers bracket, as we are well aware, and he'll be facing off against one of those two as well, in order to try and fight his way through to the finals, and DDE through to the grand finals, and in a great position actually to take it all. DDE has been incredibly strong lately, and it's something that both of these guys should be fearing. Either Cruncher or Arg gets through, they're going to have a real fight on their hands in the winners bracket finals, and of course we will know exactly what's going on with that very, very shortly after we've done this best of 3 series, because I'll be bringing you the winner bracket finals right after this one. Should be good. Mirror builds from both for the time being. Arg, you probably don't know an awful lot about Arg. Arg actually has really good tactical awareness on the map. That's the one thing that I've really noticed about him. He plays pretty standard, but he often outflanks his opponent and does a really great job of that. He usually has his forces in the right time, in the right place at the right time, in fact. Pretty much every time you could possibly imagine. It works out very, very well for him indeed. Cruncher, on the other hand, Cruncher, a controversial player for some people. I personally couldn't care less about the drama because, you know, I'm not 10 years old. But in the case of Cruncher, he is known for going for the throat. I mean, he uses so-called abusive builds, whatever that actually means. What it really means is he uses the builds that he thinks are actually going to win. And he's used some unusual stuff in the past, actually. I've seen him go with a very fast second expansion on, like, the 4.5-minute mark on the Crevasse, for instance, which was very odd indeed. But we'll see how this one works out for him. I'd imagine he's going to play straight up right now. And I wouldn't be remotely surprised to see either Colossus versus Colossus or some kind of 4-gateway play from either of these players. Organized and laid back for the moment. Simon X score going down right there. And Cruncher with an earlier second gateway. See how that works out for him. Now, is he saving Chrono Boost? Yes, he is. So he's going to boost that out here. And we'll see what he decides to do. I mean, he's taking the second gas. So it doesn't necessarily indicate any kind of 4-gateway play at this point. You never really know with Protoss. That's the weird thing. You can take a second gas. It can either be because you want to fake out your opponent. It's like, oh, I'm taking a second gas. I'm definitely not going to go for a 4-gate or anything. Then you go for a 4-gate. Or, of course, you can go for a Hawk-style 4-gate, which is heavy on sentries, in which case you do need the second gas for that one. Bit of scouting information gathered there by Cruncher, who sees 1 gateway and 1 Cybernetic score. That's interesting. That's a cancel right there for Arg. And Arg's minimal count is actually getting very, very high. So either he's going to expand, or we're looking for more gateways coming down from him as well. He is chrono boosting that Cybernetic score quite a bit. We'll find out how many gateways he decides to put down. That's 1, 2, and nothing to follow that one up just yet. But there we go. 3rd gateway coming in from Arg. So Cruncher able to scout with a number of probes, but he's actually lost quite a few in the process, so that's not so great. And in the meantime, we actually have Arg stealing a gas after, I assume, Cruncher cancelled it for himself. So that was a little silly, but there you go. Both of these guys cancelling gas. Like, I'm not going to 4-gate. Who's going to 4-gate? No, not me. I couldn't do something like that. I'm not that kind of player. As it turns out, Arg is going to 4-gate, so we'll see how effective that's really going to be. Now, Cruncher has not done a great job of denying this 4-gate so far, because of course he doesn't know where this is, but he is scouting out right now. He does have a force of 3 Stalkers in the field, which is very, very nice. And if he's able to find that pylon, which he is, very nicely done. And Cruncher can deny that 4-gateway play quite nicely, unless Arg is able to sneak in another pylon somewhere. And Arg, of course, doesn't have the firepower right now. This 3-Stalker opening is quite nice against 4-gate. But there's the warp in right now. Cruncher was not able to take out that pylon in time, and suddenly Arg with a quick warp in. He doesn't have quite the numbers he needs, though, unless, of course, Cruncher just stands around taking hits from that Zealot. And that's 3 on 4, and 4 on 5, in fact. And we've got Cruncher pushing backwards once again with 7 Stalkers versus 5, and Arg's 4-gate, I think we can probably safely say, has failed. He's taking a lot of fire right here from these Stalkers, and Cruncher splitting him. He wants to try and eliminate that one. He actually stops inexplicably. I don't really know why he did that, but there you go. That is going to get picked up quite nicely, and Arg is going to have to transition out into something that makes more sense at this point. This 4-gateway play hasn't made any sense at all. Arg inexplicably warping in a Zealot for no apparent reason, and Cruncher picks it off very easily. He is not concerned about this one little bit. Twilight Council coming up right now for Arg. That's his choice of transition. We'll see as to whether or not that's going to mean Blinkstalkers are charging Zealots. Considering the amount of gas he's currently got, I would probably hazard a guess on Blinkstalkers. We'll find out. Cruncher pushing forward. He does have a probe of his own right now, so he can go for some kind of aggressive play. He's expanding. He actually, no, he has 4 gates, never mind. So he will be able to apply some real pressure right here to Arg, and I am looking forward to finding out what happens. Will Arg be able to hold it off? We're about to find out. That probe goes straight up the ramp, gets some scouting information, and nothing else, gets annihilated and will not be going home to its family tonight. And we are about to find out what that Twilight Council is for. Is it for Blinkstalkers or is it for Dark Templar? We will find out shortly. Arg is about to get the gas he needs for Blinkstalkers, so there we go, he spent it, so that is Blinkstalker, and then into a Forge as well, looking to get some upgrades. Cruncher now, however, has the economic advantage over his opponent. It's quite nice as well. You can see there, 33 works to 28, and looking to get the expansion as well. Cruncher also with a, well, not a larger army, but about the same size as his opponent, so he's not too concerned about that either. He's going for a robotics facility right now, so if he actually gets some Immortals in the mix, that's going to prove to be problematic for Arg. We'll see if he decides to go for that or if he's looking to go for the Colossus right now. Straight into the robotics base, so Colossi will be on the field at some point in the not-too-distant future. Forge up right now for Arg, who is still not looking in a fantastic position right now, as much as I would like to say otherwise, just because I love Arg's name. Is that a commentator bias? I suppose it really is. Like, I want Arg to win. Why? Because he's got a fantastic name. Arg! Yeah, that's good. Now, Arg with another push coming out. He actually has quite a nice army supply advantage now of his opponent with a rapid warp in. The thing is, Cruncher has good scouting information and is aware of what's coming. By the time that lands, Cruncher will have a good warp in and will be ready to respond to that. He's got a large Zealot count in comparison to his opponent who has only 2. So we'll see how effective that really is. Should be able to block off the ramp with him quite nicely, and then, of course, he can fire from the rear. But Arg already has Blinkstalker, so that's something I'd be very concerned about. And Cruncher looking to respond to that with Immortals, but Immortals do take quite a while to build, so if Arg goes in now, he could do some real damage. He's looking for it, and of course with Blinkstalker and good micromanagement, then Arg wins this fight pretty much by default. Admittedly, there is an Immortal in the mix, and unless he is able to deal with that very, very quickly, it's going to prove to be a serious problem. You can't blink away from that kind of damage. Very, very unpleasant. A second Immortal coming out right here for Cruncher as well, so this defense is looking solid. In the meantime, Cruncher is, wow, probing it up real hard style right now, and that's a lot of probes coming in. Arg with a big fire coming on, and a little bit of Blinkstalker micromanagement. It's pretty good as well, so he's holding the line quite nicely. Unfortunately, the withering fire from those Immortals is difficult to get away from. He almost loses the sentry, and the Immortals with good defense right there. Cruncher holding out quite nicely. The army supply count still in favor of Arg right now. However, there are more Immortals coming on the field, and it looks like Arg's going to try and warp in a few more Zealots instead, since he knows the opponent has a large number of Immortals in the mix. Arg looking for a push once again. How much damage can he do up here? It's a very narrow choke point. He's going to have to be very, very careful. Now into the middle of it right now. Looking for big damage, and he's able to surround that Immortal, takes it out quite nicely. And how much more attrition can he take as he walks up the ramp? Apparently quite a lot. Looking to shut down his production facilities, and that isn't looking all that great. He should be able to shut the pylons down quite nicely, but he's able to drive his opponent away from the mineral line, which is what he was looking to do as far as I'm concerned. Problem is, he's kind of now trapped in the base, but he can very easily blink out. As you can see, he takes minimal losses, so that's not too bad. And in the meantime, of course, he sent 4 Zealots in from that warp in. A very effective little bit of harassment right now as he tears his way through the mineral line quite nicely. Cruncher needs to do something about that. He's not actually even moving his probes. He already lost about 6 already before these Zealots end up getting cleaned up. Looks for a 7th. Can he even make this worthwhile? If he takes another one, then that's actually paid for itself. And that's very, very nice bit of harassment there by Arg. And Cruncher now with a significantly reduced probe count. It was very, very high earlier. And Cruncher now on 37 to 28. Still got an economic advantage, however. And Arg is still playing off one base, which is interesting considering he's getting very close to being mined out right here. Arg. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when Cruncher stands around doing nothing to you? Well, there are 4 Immortals in that mix, so the response from Arg is going to be Dark Templar, which is an intriguing idea, considering that his opponent does have a robotics. That said, he only has 1 coming out right now. Oh, wow. Surely he didn't scout that. Where is the DT Shrine, I have to wonder? It's hidden at the back. Did Cruncher actually see it? He didn't. Nice little bit of placement there by Arg, and I'm very surprised that he surely will see it the next time around, though. I mean, that's absurd. There's an observer in his base, which is why I think Dark Templar play is very odd. And his second observer will pretty much shut that down. That said, if Cruncher's able to blink under there and deal with the Observer, that'll be good. But my god, Cruncher not moving in at all here. That's an interesting expansion opportunity there for ARG, thinking that's a bit of prime real estate up there at the top, and I am intrigued by that. I guess he thinks his contain is strong enough to do that. Seriously, Cruncher has not scouted that Dark Shrine. It's at the back. Cruncher, the Dark Shrine. God, oh my. This could be a problem right now for Cruncher, and he only has one Observer out, which seems to be the bane of so many Protoss these days. I only have one Observer. I don't need any more than that. Yes, you do! Because magical, wonderful Dark Templar will be coming in from ARG very, very shortly. He has what he needs to do the warp in. Just needs to wait for those cooldowns to come off. Warp in for Dark Templar into that line. It's going to make an absolute mess of Cruncher, who is not sitting on anything at all. A second robotics facility coming down, looking for some really big Colossus play right now. Will ARG be able to do some harassment in the meantime? And that's a nice little placement of the pylon. We're looking for a Dark Templar warping at the top, surely. There it is. Very nice. Out of range of Cruncher. Cruncher sees nothing for the time being, and there is the problem with only having one Observer. That robotics facility is going to be taken down very, very rapidly before it's able to get a Colossus up. It's good stuff right now, and I have to wonder if Cruncher even realized the Dark Templar are there. Big Colossi engagement in the middle. However, those DTs getting in the mix, and Cruncher looking to try and deal with this Observer. The thing is that I don't think ARG knows. No, he does. He knows that that second one's down there. I was thinking, perhaps he doesn't know about it, and then he will be thinking that his opponent doesn't have any Observers, but that's not actually the case. That Nexus could potentially go down right now. The Observer is on its way, being built as quickly as possible, but that Nexus is down. Nice little bit of DT play there by ARG, who's now getting stabby on right now. He can't really clean up anything else, but still, he has a big push from the front and more DTs in the mix. And if that robotics facility goes down, it's going to prove to be immensely problematic, and down it goes. No more Colossus right here for Cruncher, but he's still sitting on a very large army. I need to point this out. He has lost some tech, and he's lost the base right here, which is problematic. But it doesn't matter that much because he still has an army supply of 68 in comparison to 25 right there. Quick cleanup there by the Colossus, and those DTs will prove to be ineffectual for the time being, and that's why he's not bringing any more in. ARG only sitting on 10 Stalkers. If Cruncher actually decides to push out right now and do damage, then ARG's going to be in an awful lot of trouble. Holding this is going to be really difficult. Admittedly, that curious choice of expansion is something that Cruncher was not expecting. He has no idea it's there. That's interesting. It really is. Does Cruncher actually think that he's stayed on one base for that long? Because he spots the expansion, but if ARG actually has 3 bases up against 2, as opposed to what Cruncher believes he has, then that's going to give him a real edge. ARG, what you up to? He's sneaking around, folks. Yes, he's sneaking. He's not willing to go in yet, and I hardly blame him. Look at what he's up against. 85 army supply to 32, and the worker supply count still in favor of Cruncher right now. So even after all of those irritating engagements, even after that, still wasn't so great. ARG right now sitting on this Nexus, which is nice and secure. He's actually going in, which is suicidal as far as I'm concerned. My god, Cruncher with an amazing amount of firepower right there. As you can see, there are 2 DTs somewhere. The question is where? Are they in his base? Are they in his face? Nope, no DTs for you. No DTs in his base at all right now, just in the mix of the army by the looks of it. 3 Observers out now for Cruncher. It's kind of a lot of gas being invested in that, but Cruncher doesn't seem to be all that concerned. I don't blame him. 150 army split to 90, well, 82 in fact for ARG right now. That's really not great. ARG merging the DTs into an Archon, as you do. Okay. Intriguing play right there by ARG, but we'll see how effective that really will end up being. The thing is, Cruncher's just sitting on this thing, which is monstrous, let's be honest. 139 is supplied to 50. I mean, he could have killed ARG 10 minutes ago, and surely he realizes this right now, and he'll think about moving out. He has what he needs to do the damage. Looks like he's going to wait for another Colossus, because, hey, you know, 2 more Colossus, in fact. Yeah, well, let's just put 6 Colossus in the mix. That'll do the job. Zealot speed upgrade coming up for ARG right now, who maintains some map control, at least until Cruncher decides to get off his ass and attack. Once that happens, I think ARG is probably dead meat. With that Colossus count, and nothing really to counter it here from ARG, I would be very concerned for his safety. Even with that hidden expansion, even with that. I mean, Cruncher's going to have to wait around for another 10 minutes at least, and then maybe ARG can actually catch him up in terms of his army supply count. Templar Archives coming in as well, and there's a big blink in by Arg right now, trying to shut down some production facilities, but he loses Stalkers in the process, so really not all that important. He's not able to touch the two key things, which are these robotics facilities. He wasn't able to shut down any research, so it doesn't really matter all that much. Arg just sort of keeping Cruncher in his base, and is Cruncher finally going to decide to go out? 137 to 63 right here. 2 observers, because hey, why not? And Arg really can't defend this. I mean, seriously, what is he going to do? 147 army supply to 69. And it looks like he's actually going to go up there. Oh, he's maybe looking for an expansion, thinking perhaps his opponent's hidden one, and of course he has. Cruncher rolling out, and he needs to actually go and attack right now. There are some Archons coming in the mix for Arg right now. He's got 3 up on the field. Of course, the Archons will help out quite a bit against the Colossus, and they will do big damage to the Zealots, but I'm still not entirely convinced that they'll be able to do everything that's required. There's the army supply, 149 to 71. It's not pretty, folks. And Cruncher is going for the natural expansion. And this is do or die right here for Arg, unless he can defend this, which seems so very unlikely. We'll find out. See how good those Archons really are. Archons actually get sliced into pieces right here. They didn't even stand a chance. And Cruncher here with a massive attack. Nothing that Arg can really deal with. Even with the charging Zealots, I don't think that's going to be enough. There, the Colossus stay up. Very, very easy win there for Cruncher, who, to be fair, could have ended that 10 minutes ago. So I'm really not entirely sure why he